Time now for the real world with Lee Anderson, and up to 100,000 civil servants have been on strike today, meaning they could go out for vegan brunches, ride their Peloton bikes and switch on loose women. So actually no different from your average Wednesday, right, when they're working from home. Lee, on the other hand, has returned from a very important fact-finding mission in Calais as he gets to the bottom of the migrant crisis. And he made this crucial discovery. Watch.
I'm still furious. I'm foaming at the mouth over this Care4Calais organisation. They're acting like a magnet for these young men to set up camp here. They're basically feeding them, clothing them. They're teaching them how to speak English, how to read and write in English, and then waiting for them. Once they cross the channel, they're waiting for them and volunteering in hotels to support them while they're there.
Well, Lee, so it feels like this trip was very worthwhile. What else did you discover?
Well, it was worthwhile, Dan. I mean, what we discovered was quite frankly, it was shocking. We went to a migrant camp in Calais, and it was all young men from Africa, from Sudan and from Eritrea. Young women in the camp who were working for Care4Calais. We've seen some inappropriate behaviour as well, holding hands and getting a little bit too close. It's an industry. This is the final leg of the journey. These young men are travelling from Africa. They've got no money in their pockets. How do they earn that money? So the gendarme told us that they do it through a life of crime when they get there. They're either thieving, they're robbing, it's prostitution, it's drug dealing. And to make matters worse, Care4Calais, these young people are teaching them how to speak English and getting them ready for the journey. And like I said in the clip there, when they get to the UK, these people, hundreds of them, the Care4Calais volunteers, are waiting in British hotels to take them on the next step of the journey to claim asylum. It's absolutely disgraceful. They should hang their heads in shame. In fact, they need investigating by the charities.
Well, I was going to say, what can we do about this? Because the way Care4Calais is presented in the mainstream media constantly is as if they're this great humanitarian organisation. They're given carte blanche to say whatever they want about how inhumane our policies are.
Well, they're not. I mean, they made it quite clear to me that they believe in open borders. They believe in a universal passport. They say that any one of the 80 million displaced people in the world should be allowed to come to the UK to claim asylum. Absolutely out of touch. A lot of these young girls that we're speaking to on the gap years from uni probably never had a real job, never lived in the real world, and just a bunch of do-gooders who are making a mockery of our asylum system.
And so what are you going to do as a result of this trip? I mean, are there ways to report back? Because the problem is, Lee, this is an emergency.
It is.
We don't have time to waste.
I've been banging on about this, since I got elected. So we went as part of the Home Affairs Select Committee. So we're doing a letter report to Rishi. That goes to him. We've already fed back through his secretaries, fed back to the Home Secretary. They know. They've seen it on GBNews as well. Furious is not the word. Like I say, it's an old industry. The people smugglers and Care4Calais, they're different sides of the coin, but they're both doing the same thing. They're encouraging this evil trade. And like I said before on this show, whilst ever I'm at that place over there, the madhouse, I will keep banging on about it.
Suella Braverman, the Home Secretary, this week, encouraging us all to keep the faith in the Conservative Party to solve this issue. But you can understand, Lee, that now we've got this new prediction of 80,000 arriving in what is an invasion this year. I mean, it's getting tougher to keep the faith because we need emergency action.
It's getting tougher, Dan, for me to look my constituents in the eye and say we're going to solve this, because we've marched them up the hill many, many times and they still keep coming. Rishi's made a pledge today in PMQs that if you arrive here illegally, you've got no chance of claiming asylum and you'll get sent straight back. We wanted that from day one, so let's see if it delivers.
Leave the ECHR. Leave the ECHR.
Rip it off.
It is the only way that this will be resolved. And the problem is, I worry that this has all been left too late, because the election is just around the corner and this takes time.
Yeah,
I know what the courts are going to do.
I worry about that. I think, my opinion has always been just ignore it and just crack on.
Absolutely.
What they're going to do, put us all in prison? No chance.
Indeed.